What's cracking, mi gente? This your boy D once again, ready to come by to share some love and a little bit of knowledge. Today, I got another banger for you guys. I got another video that's gonna bring you guys a little bit more details regarding the situation with Topo and everything else that happens. But before we get started, before we go to the situation, I just wanna say that my purpose on this YouTube is not to bring pain to anybody's family, to denigrate anybody's death, or to take anybody's pain lightly. I try to do my best when I'm investigating the cases to make sure the facts I give you guys are nothing but truth and are supported with concrete facts. Sometimes we all make mistakes, and when we do make mistakes, my point is sometimes I try to clarify and rectify them just because I don't want to disrespect nobody's family. I don't want to disrespect nobody's pain. And I don't want to make their pain more hard than it already is by having the loved one's name go through the mud. So because of that, I'm doing this updated video, and I have a little bit more information regarding that incident. So I decided to put it all together and do the best I can. With that said, don't forget to hit that thumbs like. Don't forget to hit that like. If you don't like it, hit that thumbs down. It goes get the channel going, man. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to it. Subscribe to the other channel, Calibre Rebels. I'm gonna drop 2 videos today and another 2 tomorrow. So make sure you check them out, man. I'm dropping bangers after bangers. And overall, don't forget to leave that comment, man. Today, I'm gonna try to speak slowly without going fast, because sometimes they say you guys can hear I run out of breath or whatever. As you guys know, I still got the problem of the health situation, and some people say they cannot understand what I'm saying because of my thick accent. And to clarify, I'm not Mexican, I am Salvadorian. So with that being said, let's get into this video. So if you guys remember, but for those of you that guys don't remember or didn't see the video, didn't understand, I went back to check the video because something was brought to my attention about the person that was next to Topo when he got shot. In the first video, I said it. I was told it was Topo's people, but I'm not 100% sure. I will go look into it and give you guys more details later on, which I did. So when the video went up, I got reached out from a couple sites, okay? And then my sources always were looking into a couple things that I asked them to. Some of those things were the information regarding the person that passed away, the other people that were involved, and how came Topo was there at that time and they allowed that to happen to him. So I got some of the information came back and I was able to verify it as a fact and actually truth. Okay, so when I got the information back, I decided to look into it a little more deeply. And like I said before, when I posted the video, I haven't seen no news article at that time. I didn't see nothing in the internet. And it was because the police, LA County Sheriffs, were trying to keep it hush-hush. They were trying not to reveal the identity of the people because their excuse they're giving was they didn't want a war to break off between the streets of LA, which it didn't make no sense at that time, but that's how it was put to me. So I decided to wait, which to me is a lame excuse. The police covering it up, incidents that had to do with members of a mafia or members of a well-known gang, and not giving the story to the public, it's kind of fishy. But that's the way I guess it is in order to maintain the peace, as they call it. Okay, so the incident took place around 11 p.m. I was told that Topo pulled up to the party uninvited. Some people say he was invited, some people say he wasn't invited. A lot of Florencia homies haven't seen Topo since he came home, because as you guys know, there have been rumors on the background between him and Tablas going to war and him and Tablas beefing and him and Tablas trying to move him out of the way. So I guess the information I gathered from some sources was that Topo decided to pull himself away from Florencia business by always keeping his ear on his trees while he created his entourage or the little squad room that he was gonna have around him, the people he was gonna surround himself. So he kind of took a retreat position to recoup, to gather his information, to gather the sources, to gather the soldiers, because he know that the moment Tablas made his move, it was gonna be either a deadly one or it was gonna be close to it. He knew he could lose his life. So he chose to stay on the cut without revealing too much to other people where he was at. So to a lot of people that were in a party, and the party took place in the veterans uh veterans halls in Valley View La Mirada in LA. So when he pulled up with his people, because he pulled up deep with some people, about 8 to 10 people, I was told, a lot of the homies from Florencia were taken back because they didn't expect him there. He wasn't invited in that party. It was a family party, I guess, but there were like a homie gathering. Basically, there was a lot of homies there, but there was also families there. The wives of homies from Florence, the mothers, the children. There was family there. There were people with their family there. Their homies had their family there. So when he pulled up, you could feel the tension growing amongst his entourage and the people that were there, especially if it was an invited. We have heard stories of how Topo gets down. He's the tyrant. He feels like he can walk into anything and dictate everything he's like, because he felt until that point that no sureño was gonna touch a carnal, or no homie was gonna touch a carnal. Until that point, he felt that he was untouchable. What he didn't know was that behind the scenes, the masterpieces, along with Tablas, have already decided that he was no good to them, that he was done, that his career needed to end it one way or another. The Emmett decided we don't want him no more. It was bad reputation for him being a rapist and a sex offender, registered sex offender. This is not a jacket that I'm putting on the man. He is a registered sex offender. He isn't a Megan law. So it's not something that's a secret. And I guess the Emmett had decided they had took too many blows due to individuals like him, plus his tyranny ways of always bullying homies and always going against his carnales wishes, were enough, and Tablas both to go ahead and hit him was enough for them to decide, Charles, he's no good. He's not our brother no more. So the plans were already in motion. If they were to catch him on the street, they were to drown him. The plan had already been put in place. If you guys catch him, whatever you guys catch him, if you guys get the chance, drowning, hit him. You got to remember, there are some carnales out there, like Willy Bobo, but Willy Bobo, they have him as like retired. Like he's on a retirement away from me. He's not politicking. He's not doing nothing in business. As I was told, they got him on like some to the side type of thing. They were giving him some feria at first. They were allowing for him to get some feria, but then once they decided that he was no longer able to have a say over the federal commission, then they just put him on a retirement. You got to remember, Willy Bobo next to Champ were the ones that were in the commission and the feds. So, but the thing is that Willy Bobo had gotten sicker in the years to the point where his mind started slipping. And to them, that's a liability. They couldn't have a carnal doing things for them that can remember stuff, or they can put him on a predicament where he can tell people their secrets. So they kept him on arm's length until the sickness got way too advanced for them to keep supporting him. So what they did was they put him to the side. Of course, they keep him monitoring. They know where he's going, where he's at. They keep an eye on him. But not out of respect, not out of love. They keep an eye on him out of fear that his mind can go far away to the point where slips up and can say something to the wrong people, to even the police itself. So they got him on a retirement shelf type of thing. So there's not carnales out there that are doing the bids, at least to my knowledge is they're moving and doing bids for them right now. They have soldiers. So now they wanted Topo gone. They still do. He knows that. And I wouldn't be surprised. And this is my humble opinion of being around these people, being around this lifestyle. If Topo decides to go into a weak sec, I wouldn't be surprised if Topo decides to go into witness protection program with the feds after this attendance in his life and decide to cooperate. And you guys know why? Because they've been proven fact to fact that they can get to him even if it's out there. They did it with Negro, which I will tell the story about Negro. They did it with Littleman, which I will tell you guys a story later on this week. And they did it with Eddie Boy. So those are three murders that Mundo himself touched bases on it, and I will touch bases on the things that I know, the details that were given to me. Okay? Now, going to the individual that unfortunately lost his life, being next to this individual that he never thought it would have cost him that life, him being incarcerated had taught him one thing: respect your elders. And you gotta remember, when you're coming home from prison after doing a good stretch, it's hard for your old ways to leave you right away. It's hard. It's really, really hard for your old ways to just take over and say, I'm gone, I'm out of here. So he went in, just said what's up to them and introduced himself, or somehow Topo got close to him where he said what's up. So he happened to be standing next to him when the shooting took place. Now, Eric Ortiz was 34 years old. And this video is going to be a little bit more about him than Topo. Eric Ortiz was 34-year-old young man. He has served 13 years of his life in the penitentiary in CDCR. So he was not old. He was not that old. 13 years of his life have been gone due to him being incarcerated. He served 13 years and he was 34 years old. He had just gotten released 2 years ago. So he went in when he was pretty young. He was on 18, 19 years old when he went in. He was young. He was on his early 20s, let's say. Right? If it was 20, did 13 and got out 2 years ago, then he probably was like 18, then went ahead, right? As what he was described to me, he was a very well-respected, known Florencia homie. He had gotten himself involved in politics while he was in prison because he saw as a way to stay alive, which a lot of us had done. When you get a bit, you try to do your best to stay alive. So some of us get into the politics, even though we might not agree with the politics, we might not like it, but that's a way to stay afloat, stay alive. So that way you don't become a casualty of somebody else politicking you, or a casualty of you being a nobody and you getting used and getting rid of. So yes, he had committed a crime. He had went in there. He had done 13 years. He came back out 2 years ago. And for what I was told from sources close to him was that he was a good man. He was at the party with his wife. He had a wife. But in the 2 years he came out with the mentality that I can respect, with a mentality that I can account for because I did the same thing. He came out and said, you know what? I think it's time for me to make my own family, to build my own thing. My Jaina supported me. So I think I want to at least give it a chance to be free and build myself a life build a family and do something different. And within 2 years, he had accomplished that. He had gotten married. And unfortunately for his wife, he lives a 3-month-old baby to be raised by a single mother. Yes, he have brothers, he have sisters, he has family that love him, that will help her out. But there's no way that kid will ever have a father, and there's no way that kid will ever understand that her father was taken away out of her life or just happened to be standing next to a piece of shit ass man as Topo. He was described to him as easy outgoing, very likable. He always had this Kool-Aid smile. He was always smiling. He was always upbringing. He was never grumpy. He was never angry around his loved ones and around his homies. He was well liked by his father. He was well respected. And he was there at the party, not with his homeboys. He was there at the party with his wife. So he went to that party as a family man. He didn't go to the party as a representing Florencia, even though he was part of the neighborhood. He did what he did in prison. And some people can hang him to dry. Oh, he was a gang member. He was this and that. That's their opinion. That's okay. He paid his time. He did his time. He paid for his crime that he had done. He came out, had changed his life to build himself a family. Nobody can knock him for that. We cannot knock somebody for coming home and deciding to go a different route because they realized that, well, either they were inside or when they came out, that the life of crime didn't pay and it was just going to be a revolving door. If I continue to commit crimes, I'm going to go right back in there. What gives that I don't catch a life case? So he had gotten a second chance and he had took it, grabbed it with both hands and run with it. And I tip my hat out to him for him. Because a lot of us that been in the system and done those type of years and been involved in politics have realized that the game is not what it used to be. The game banging life is not what it used to be. Some of us had got involved in the life when we were pretty young and continue to do so because our pride didn't allow us to be deemed as cowards or as PCs or whatever. So we made it the choice, which is a hard choice to make because I made it myself. So I know for him to have family from the same barrio, older brothers, have homeboys that were out there waiting for him when he came out there, to decide to just say, you know what, I'm going to do my life, but I'm still here. For him to consider his family and decided to make his own family instead of going back to the neighborhood, had it to be one of the hardest decisions he had to make in his life. Because that happened to me. I did that. But it's not about me. It's about this young man that is living behind a wife and a beautiful 3-month-old baby that will never get to know her father. Which is a sad, sad thing. This individual that was a rapist, a freaking monster, a disgrace of a human being, a child molester, got hit 6 times and didn't die. But yet this young man that was a father, a husband, a brother, and an uncle got hit 1 time with a stray bullet and died, is the sadness of this story. And I said that I was going to look into who he was. And I was going to give you guys the facts. And I thank the people that reached out to me and the people that got back at me with when I asked the question. The people that gave me the facts of who this person was. I thank them for being there. And I can only say to the family, I know it might not be easy. And if I play any part of shape on contributing to your pain by even thinking or associating him with Topo, I said dispenser to you guys. My point when I do videos is never to get money off your pain or get beneficial of you guys' pains. My point is to report what I know is seen and to try to condemn this life that's taking so many lives away. This lifestyle is taking so many lives away from loved ones. And it's taking this young generation that is not willing to see, open their eyes, that this lifestyle is not bringing nothing but pain emotion is scarred, and it's taking away people that you care about. Because I don't think people understand that when these young kids go to the system, they change. We change dramatically. And when we do come out, we come out a whole different person that we went in. And sometimes they ask, oh, you're not the same person, you change. Of course, we had it to change. We had it to adapt to our environment was even where it was lion eat lions. If you're not on your toes, if you're not trucha, you get devoured. My point is never to make fun or to gain monetary gain for somebody's pain family. That's why the videos that were in double horns operation, I don't speak on it because some of the family members still out there, and I don't want them to feel like I'm benefiting for the pain or I'm reminiscing their pain. And that's the reason why sometimes I don't do it. But it was clarified to me he had nothing to do with Topo. He was not part of his entourage. He was not part of, had nothing to do. He was not associated with this man. He was a stand-up Florencia homie, the care. But overall, him being a Florencia homie, he was a man that had a wife and had a kid that he leaves behind due to a stray bullet hitting him and costing his life. It's sad to see these things happen due to these tyrants. They come in there and think that they can run everything and they can ruin everything. And when these tyrants go into places like this, where our family gatherings, things like this can happen and other people pay their prices, not them. And that's why I'm so adamant to do this video and expose these tyrants because of situations like this. If it never got there, that kid is still her father, and that wife is still her husband, and the mother is still her son, and the brothers and sisters still have their brother. Unfortunately, that's not what it happens. He passed away, and it's painful for them. And I will put some pictures of who he was at the end of this video so you guys can see who he was. And I hope you guys and I hope you guys learn for something from this video. That sometimes it doesn't have to be that we out there gangbanging, being a fool, and we get hurt. Yeah, sometimes we don't deny. The first thing I told my mother was, if I ever get killed or something ever happen to me, don't come in camera and deny. My son was a saint. Don't do that. Just say the truth. He was a gang member. I don't know what he was doing there, but he was. If I was changing, just say that I was on the middle of changing. But if I was doing what I was doing, then don't try to victimize me. Don't try to humor other people to be like I was an innocent guy, because it makes you look bad that I wasn't. And I'm not saying that's what the kid was doing. He was there with his wife. He could have chose not to go to the party and be with the homeboys and go with his homeboys, but he chose to take his wife there because he was there as a family man. But yeah, this tyrant is still alive and still there. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this tyrant decides to cooperate with the federal police or the police himself and turn a witness protection program. He knows his days are counting. He knows that the Tres Reyes is no more. He knows that Los Tres Reyes, there is no more. The only rey that's going to be standing at the end of this battle is going to be Tablas, because he got the support of the commissions. And he's cunning as hell. And he will take a shot at Topo again if Topo decides to stay in the streets of LA. But I wanted to make this video to make some clarifications, to make sure you guys have an updated that yeah, he's still alive. He was placed in critical condition. He's now doing better from what I was told. The police try to cover it up. I don't know why. The person that lost his life was not part of his entourage. He was not, had no type of association with Topo the rapist, with Topo the child molester, the sex offender. He was literally an innocent stand-byer that got hit with a stray bullet and died. And I hope this video is satisfactory enough for the family if they do get to see them, and it did any justice for you guys, loved one that passed away and lost his life. I hope I did justice to him by remember how you guys remember him, or at least how I would think that you guys would remember him. I haven't spoke to the family. I haven't been able to contact directly to the family. I got my sources from people around them, but they don't come directly for them. If they choose to come out and say something to me or want to ask something to commemorate his memory, I'm more than willing to listen and do something for him. And if I could help in any way, shape, or form, I'm here. My doors are open. You guys are welcome to reach out to me through my IG at Junior Fuentes 315, or through the phone number anybody can contact me. With that said, before I leave, I just want to give you guys, to the family, if they are watching this, or if they do watch them, or somebody knows them to send in this, I say, if I disrespected your loved one's memory in any shape, type, or form, I apologize for that. I got my facts a little intertwined, then I got them corrected, and so I present them to the people, and I hope I done justice to your loved one, and I hope you guys are okay with it, and are okay with me using the picture, and don't report and bring this video down. I said, I hope I did the best job I could. I want you guys to know that. Make sure you guys leave your comment. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys leave that like button. And shout out and a prayer to that soldier that we lost to the streets, unfortunately. Rest in soul and peace, Eric Ortiz. We will see you soon, homito. With that being said, don't forget to tell your loved ones that you love him. Be kind to one another, because tomorrow is never promised. Let's get it, mi gente.